Why Stephen Hawking believed humanity must leave Earth within 100 years. We are not leaving Earth out of curiosity. We are leaving because there is no longer a choice. In the final years of his life, Stephen Hawking issued a warning that left much of the scientific community silent. He said that humanity may have only about 100 years left to find another place to live beyond Earth. Not because this planet is about to explode, not because the end of the world has already been written, but because our civilization is advancing faster than its own ability to endure. If that is true, then the question is no longer whether we should leave or not. The real question is, have we already begun to leave, or have we not? When Stephen Hawking spoke about the 100-year mark, many people assumed it was a threat, a pessimistic prediction, a way to grab attention. But Hawking was never someone who spoke from emotion. He thought in terms of probability. Just 1 year earlier, Hawking believed that humanity might still have around 1,000 years to survive on Earth. Then he reduced the number to only 100 years. Not because he was wrong before, but because the world was changing faster than every predictive model. Population growth accelerated. The climate became unstable. Technology advanced faster than ethics. Risks that once existed in isolation began to overlap. Hawking once said that a civilization confined to a single planet cannot survive in the long run, not because it is foolish, but because probability is not on its side. 100 years is not the moment humanity disappears. 100 years is the deadline to open an escape route, not to build a new paradise, but to avoid a death that becomes inevitable over time. So what convinced Hawking that Earth is no longer an absolutely safe place? The answer is there is no single cause. There are multiple threats unfolding at the same time. First, climate change. Not simply a warming planet, but an entire climate system losing stability when natural cycles are disrupted. Modern civilization no longer has an environment that can sustain it. Next, asteroids. Major impacts are not rare events in the history of the universe. They are part of a long-term pattern. The question is not whether one will happen. The question is when. And Earth has no backup system. Third, pandemics. A globalized world, a dense population, constant movement, rapid advances in biotechnology. All it takes is one pathogen at the wrong moment to paralyze the entire system. Finally, population pressure and social stress. As resources decline. As the climate grows harsher. As political instability increases, the risk of self-destruction is no longer theoretical. Hawking once said that no single threat is enough to kill, as on its own, but all of them together can. Earth will not disappear, but it may become a place that is no longer friendly to our technological civilization. When Stephen Hawking said we are running out of space, many people misunderstood him. He was not saying that Earth has run out of room. There is still plenty of land. What is disappearing is safe space. Space to make mistakes, space to recover after disaster, space to learn without paying the price of collapse. A civilization with only one planet is a civilization with a single point of failure, one event large enough, and everything ends. No backup. No shelter. No second chance. And that is why Hawking believed that becoming a multi-planet civilization is not ambition. It is a necessity throughout the history of life. Every major evolutionary step began by leaving behind an old safe place. Life left the oceans to move onto land. Humans left caves to build societies. And now, our civilization stands before a similar transition. One planet is an all-in gamble. 2 planets mean the beginning of our future. Hawking did not see leaving Earth as a grand dream. He saw it as a problem of probability, reduce risk to increase survival. NASA is not searching for Mars out of romance. They are searching because it is the closest place to test whether humans can live beyond Earth. Mars has no thick atmosphere, no stable liquid water, no protective magnetic field. If humans can survive there, we can survive almost anywhere. Programs to return to the Moon, orbital transfer stations, long-term plans for Mars, all of them exist to answer one question: can humanity sustain life without Earth? Mars is not a new home. It is the hardest test. But Stephen Hawking did not stop at Mars. He looked farther, beyond the solar system. That is why he joined the Breakthrough Starshot project, tiny spacecraft fired outward by powerful lasers aimed at other star systems. They do not carry humans. They carry hope, not to settle immediately, but to answer the most important question of all. Do we have any other options? And here, the most frightening paradox appears. We are smart enough to understand the danger. We have enough technology to begin leaving. But we do not have enough time, not enough systems, not enough maturity. The next 100 years may be the most fragile period in human history. Smart enough to destroy ourselves, but not wise enough to escape yet. The next 100 years may be the most fragile period in human history. Smart enough to destroy ourselves, but not wise enough to escape yet. That is why Hawking warned us not to spread fear, but to remind us that the door is still open, just not forever. Earth is not a place we are abandoning. It is where the story began. Every civilization that hopes to survive long-term must learn how to leave its own point of origin. Stephen Hawking did not believe that humanity would die within the next 100 years. He believed that if we do not begin to leave, then death becomes only a matter of time. Other planets are not paradise. They are survival backups for life itself, not to replace Earth, but to make sure that life does not end because of a single mistake. We are living in the most fragile century in human history. The next 100 years will decide whether we become a multi-planet civilization or merely a brief trace on a lonely planet. If you want to understand what truly threatens humanity and why time is not on our side, continue following this series. The next episode: the fragile century, 100 years that decide everything, because we are living in the most dangerous chapter of human history.